Oh, actually, that's a really good question. Um, is a nice expected tick? What's a balance tick for the majority of people?
Doesn't look doesn't look as if I missed much. Can't fucking speak. Doesn't look as if I missed much. When did Fat Cat decide to start streaming again? When you say new tools, are you referring to TickStrike?
Numbers, did you catch that one?
No.
I did.
Are you referring to the long?
Yeah.
I would have had to chase a bit, but it's not.
I mean, I did not wait for full confirmation until I started loading up partially. I started loading up partially 1 minute and 45 seconds afternoon. So loaded up partial size 74, 75. And then when it came back and retested at 80, at 12:06, I filled the remaining.
Mm-hmm.
So I was a little bit early. I was willing to take the risk with partial size first, and then if it came back to retest, I was willing to add more size. Just threw everything out at 85.50. I was hesitant to hold on to it at 84 because I was seeing like volume being a bit iffy, and then down ticking as well. But I was like, nah, I'm gonna hold. I'm already up enough on it, so might as well just hold the target.
When you say he's using the DOM for Russell and NASDAQ side by side, is he trading those as well?
Who? Fat Cat?
Yeah.
No, he's just using them for gauging movement if they're moving in unison. So if one is upticking, the other one is also upticking.
Okay,
So
then you shouldn't even be bothering watching the DOM. You can have sentiment gauges / meters, strength meters instead, rather than watching the DOM. And those strength meters are going to be a better indication of relatively trading it, because you're not necessarily using the DOM for reference. You're using the relative strength of each to determine the validity of your trade, as if ES is holding strong, but NASDAQ and Russell pull back more, then there's a pause. Relatively speaking, if both Russell and NASDAQ revert to the mean, the move on ES is going to relatively be stronger.
people don't get that though. Numbers.
Strength meters are better because it gives you a relative gauge of sentiment. You could have a 1 minute meter, you could have a 5-minute meter, or a 15-minute meter for each asset, and that would give you the strength of each. You can visually see it.
I mean, isn't he using it, like, from what I saw, he's using it to see if they tick in the same time frame exactly? So on a tick-to-tick basis, that's what he used it for, from what I saw. But I'm not sure if that's the exact same thing he's
But
always using it for.
okay, in that circumstance, then why wouldn't you use Russell tick or RT? Well, I'm trying to think of the exact ticker, but you could use
RTY.
You could use no, I'm referring to something else. You instead of using NICE tick, he could have the ES DOMLA. He could have NASDAQ tick open. I'm referring to the indicator for how much the market is ticking up, how much of it's ticking down, and that would be a better gauge than looking at the DOM. Yeah, the internals would be a better gauge than looking at the DOM, relatively speaking. If you see one of the internals is holding much stronger than the others, that could add additional conviction to a longer short. I'm not particularly fond of most internals. I was playing around with them a bit this weekend and on Friday. Main issue I encounter with internals is that they are not weighted. It treats all assets similarly, all securities identically in a given.
So you would need to create your own internal, basically
Yes.
weighting them.
And
okay.
the issue you really encounter is because in a basket of securities that are weighted with NASDAQ and S&P, knowing the relative strength of each weighting is more important than the individual movement.
Well, I think if I'm not seeing anything in the next like 40 minutes, I'm probably gonna call it a day, because I'm not particularly interested in watching this chop up and down like that all day. I'm happy with this day, in performance-wise at least. Sure, probably could have squeezed out a little bit more, but hindsight always 2020. Girlfriend being dramatic here, dancing and singing. And trying to approach me, dance and sing as well, while I'm sitting here trying to look for setups, which is not existing currently.
Yeah.
He? No, there's no he. It's not trading correlated. She's like making food. And have headphones on, so she comes and then singing and dancing.
Yeah, meanwhile, I'm swiping on dating apps.
I mean, the contrasts of life, my friend.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just too to be honest, when before I met her, I was so fed up with dating apps and the whole hookup culture thing that like I eventually just gave up. I just said like straight up to her, like these and these are the values I'm looking for. Like I just checked the values, and then if values added up, I just continued. Everything else I was just disqualified immediately. And well, I sorted through a bunch in like 2 months there, and then eventually found her. So I'm pretty happy with that. being strict with my criteria. It's like looking for a trade, numbers.
Yeah, but I become bored quickly.
Well, it depends. If the person in contrast is providing something that you lack, well, then you complement each other on different aspects.
Even so, after a few months, I've been bored in the past. On
Well,
that situation.
fair enough. I don't know. I don't have a solution for you specifically.
My assumption was correct. It wasn't. Unfortunately, it wasn't an extravagant supposition that her entire personality was predicated on her degree, and it was.
It was.
Half the conversation was about how she went to Harvard. It's fucking great, but who are you as a person? Harvard. It's me.
Yeah. Well, numbers. I think you need to raise your standards a bit. Like these women. These women are weird.
When you say raise your standards, someone that arbitrarily,
Yeah, but like,
actually societally probably would agree is very attractive.
yeah,
And
but the
is
degree doesn't
doing-
say anything about the person, though.
No, it doesn't. But in terms of overall accolades in intelligence as well as competency, fully fulfilled it. But personality wise, no.
I mean, my perspective on like being intellectually, being an intellectual has nothing to do with being able to follow a disciplinary route of studying, because
No, I
I mean,
agree.
majority of university studies just shows that you have the discipline and endurance to just do what you're being told to do.
Well,
But
yes,
more or less.
that is correct. However, to some extent, that's nearly a prerequisite, as there are certainly people out there that are really well read that didn't attend university, but they typically are few and far between.
Yeah.
And expanding a desired demographic to said individuals is only going to further complicate searching for a partner, because typically most individuals who are in the medical field, physicians, are pretty well read. People that are pursuing a master's or PhD are pretty well read individuals. And going into demographics which don't have said accolades, it's a lot less likely that there are going to be similarities in thought processes, structuring an argument, and logically approaching differences in ideologies. And I do agree, there are people out there, but from a general perspective, I'm more likely than not going to find the desired demographic with those that have said accolades, which is why that's predominantly my preference.
Wouldn't it be, I mean, kind of in your interest to go for someone who has a, I would say, business desire?
Not necessarily.
I mean, if they're doing it in a smart manner, like, relatively speaking.
Typically, I have had better success with those that are in the medical field or philosophy or mathematics.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, who says you can't be in the medical field and don't try, like, own a private clinic or whatever? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, but because you're very entrepreneurial, I would say,
Yes.
for someone who is in the medical field, like medical experience field, at least.
Oh, yes, I am.
And then, like, someone who's also very entrepreneurial, you would have a lot to talk about. in that regard. While someone who's only in the medical field to service other people or help people out, you would have a harder time discussing these kind of subjects because they're not interested in it.
A lot of the discussions in entrepreneurial aspect originates out of having substantial exposure to academic literature and understanding the implications and applications, as well as the scale or scope which it could address a potential market. And people that have extensive patient knowledge and interaction, oh God, this is bad to say. The amount of feedback and information they can offer that is not present in academic journals is, rather than someone who is only entrepreneurial minded. And there's something to be said for individuals which want to commit to a profession without the entrepreneurial aspect because they genuinely love and enjoy it.
That's fair enough, but yeah.
She was 5'10". She claimed 5'10". I'm pretty certain she was 5'11", 6 feet, Bellasaurus. Since I was wearing Chelsea boots, she was wearing heels, and she was maybe an inch taller.
No, but it's hard. I can tell you that for a fact that finding someone you can actually have both be goofy with and also have intellectual conversations, it's difficult. Like, I can tell you that I did not expect finding my girlfriend, to be honest. So, that says it all. I was like genuinely never expecting to find such a good match. So that's might seem easy for me to say that now, but that's how I feel. Because I'm like, I'm very serious in what I do and whatnot, and she just counterbalances that by being less serious because I need that to not to not go totally overboard with either trading or whatever else I have in mind. Because I can literally just sit here for days on end without seeing a human being.
Yeah, I can do that for months and months.
Yeah, exactly. Which is, I mean, I get slightly depressed, but I have countermeasures to it, so that's the whole reason why it works. So as long as I go to the gym, as long as I go, doing cardiovascular exercises and being outside, I don't really need to interact with humans. Like, I can need to speak to humans, but don't necessarily need to interact with them physically. Which is kind of an irony.
I'm surprised Bellasaurus is still in our chat versus not Fat Cats.
Well, I mean, sometimes you need to listen into something else. I mean, it depends what he wants to gain from it. It's also that. I'm surprised Cosmo is not in here, in neither of the chats.
He is Fat Cat's largest contributor on. Is the website? Now I'm curious.
Who? What?
No, Fat Cat's Fika website.
Does he actually have that?
Is it called Coffee or is it called Fika? I don't know. Hold on.
Welcome to
It's Kofi.
There was another one that used to be called Fika, which,
Oh, really?
yeah, much better name than coffee. Yeah, his top, on the top supporter leaderboard, Cosmo's number 1.
I don't even know what that is. The thing that send me in private if you want to. Like I can't find it.
Fat Cat has it on his YouTube, but here.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It doesn't say how much he's.
No.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, there used to be the alternative to coffee used to be Fika, but no more.
No more. Oh, it says how much. 404 Fikas received, but that's just how much they that he's oh, holy 1.2k. Well, that you're fast on deleting here. You're like a ninja today.
Oh yeah,
Almost
the total amount of fee. Okay, yeah. I think yeah, that's the sum of it. I don't think that's monthly. Maybe it's monthly.
Well, those dumb skills sure paid out. Hope you learned the. Oh no, I have to Google this up. Nah, I saw everything. Oh my god, that cat just sitting here stalking. It's like Belisarius telling him what to do. That was funny as fuck.
I gave you every good finger bang I ever heard of. Old school, E.T.,
That's
cops
kind
and
of funny
robbers,
that he
shotgun,
actually
Chinese finger
looks in the
torch,
chat here.
cigarette machine. That's old school, isn't it, brother? Cigarette machine. Look for change in the payphone. Oh, that might be a nickel. You better get that
Not
nickel.
really the meme. Oh.
Shock to the next generation. The Vulcan, Nanu, Fonzie, Cisco and Ebert, Sony
And
PlayStation.
he's gonna be stuck in
The
here
Boy
for a
Scout,
while.
on my
Like
honor, I
I'm
would do my
seriously
best to do my duty to
contemplating
God on
giving
my
up on
country,
today.
to this
Like I'm
cowboy.
up enough.
Shadow Puppet Dog. And third grade
Problem
fortune
is
teller.
like tomorrow is like
Oh my
holy
God, I'm
fuck,
about to
that's a long
come.
day.
Okay, what's your
Gonna be-
favorite color? Huh? What's your favorite color?
The thing which is fine with it, I guess, is that it's only corporate finance that I have in the afternoon.
Mhm.
Lavender?
So that one is rather relaxed because I know majority of it already.
Screw it. Purple. Purple. Oh my God. I gave you every good finger bang
The
I
funny
ever
thing
heard
is
of.
like this
Old
this
school,
one is the corporate
E.T.,
finance
cops
that is
and robbers,
mandatory for my
shotgun,
undergrad.
Chinese finger
But the
torch,
other courses
cigarette
that I've done in corporate finance, which are master courses, which I don't know how like anyway. Those courses I've passed and got accepted to, even though I haven't finished my undergrad, which is weird. But yeah, even have one in behavioral finance. that I passed, which is
Well,
kind of an interesting subject.
yeah, especially since it deviates from efficient market theory. Fortunately, that the market is
I
not
mean,
that efficient.
I mean, the only reason why they say the efficient market theory exists is because of arbitrary traders that are literally exploiting that arbitrary situation the second it happens, which everyone is trying to do. Like you and me are trying to do it every day. Like everyone in this room is trying to do it every day. And the more people that are trying to do this, the more efficient the market is going to become. But it's not like from one given second, like T1 to T2, there is like throughout time, it's not efficient. But in every given second, it is efficient. That's the weird thing about the theory. So that's the reason why I like to piss off my corporate finance teachers that are like completely theory based. So
Yeah, they have no practical application. Fortunately, at the top universities in the U.S. for master's or economics degrees, most of them have in-field experience, but those that don't. Anyone, I received a message from a headhunter, since I frequently do. If anyone wants to move to New York, there's a position open with total compensation between 800,000 and 2 million available.
what's the position in this case?
It
Oh,
is a
vice
quant trader.
CEO.
No, it's a
Oh.
quant trader.
Oh,
They
quant
want
trader.
someone who has a systematic or fully quantitative strategy that has at least 5 years of quantitative or systematic trading experience with a Sharpe ratio and P&L of more than 10 million.
I don't have 5 years of me doing it on a quant based level, sadly.
I usually have daily briefings from a bunch of headhunters about current mandates for availability.
I mean, it's weird that they require 5 years. Really.
It's usually a preliminary. If you have a good P&L, they would, with very good ratio and Sharpe, they would obviously take the interview.
I mean, what would you do if you're doing it in a bank? Like, what I interviewed the HSP holdings.
This is a fund slot. It's a small, small fund / prop shop. It's not in the bank.
Okay, well, that's why I was, because I read HSSB and I was like,
oh yeah, no, that's not what that.
I was like,
that was something else. But yeah, it's in Manhattan, Bellasaurus.
well,
Or that's odd. They're not posting salaries on that.
I think my girlfriend would slightly be mad at me if I decide that I'm gonna move to the US for some fucking shenanigans. Well, like basically, like, okay, let me just get it like out of the year. Like 800, that's what I make in a good month. So, like, without even addressing size. So that's the whole purpose. So limiting myself to 800 while having trading restrictions, I don't think so.
Oh no, if you're performing better than that, the compensation is going to be higher. It's not fixed, it's entirely performance based. That is base pay, 800,000 to 2 million is base compensation, and then everything after is discretionary bonus.
Oh, maybe.
Are you referring to how bad can the rent be?
Pretty bad.
Um
Depends where
I
you want to
want to
live.
say average rent for a one bedroom in Manhattan is about 5,000 a month for a one bedroom, one bathroom in Manhattan. That's the average.
So let's say you want like a 4-room with
When you say
bathroom,
4 room, as in,
like a living room, kitchen, spare bedroom, and a master bedroom. And well, that would not include a kitchen. I'm confused.
oh, so,
Never
okay,
mind.
all that matters is master bedroom, guest bedroom, and you would want 3 bedrooms or no?
No, not 3.
So
Guest
let's
bedroom,
go to,
master bedroom, and a living room or dinner room or whatever you want to call it.
probably trying to think of when I have lived there. Granted, where I live, that would be about 9,000 a month.
And it's not that bad, but
I paid up
it's
to
expensive.
13. I paid up to
Yeah.
13 a few years ago a month for a 2 bedroom. But yeah,
Yep.
a 1 bedroom in Manhattan, if you are south of Central Park in Midtown, East Village, West Village, Soho's my preferred location. Yeah, 2 bedroom probably. You could have a nice apartment for 8,000.
Wouldn't prices decrease considering like people moving out of like that a lot of people are moving out of like inner city New York?
People aren't moving out of Manhattan.
Okay. Well, then I have the wrong perspective on it then. I guess it's from the neighboring regions that they're moving out of.
Yeah.
I mean, I can tell you that she wouldn't be able to afford it and like to pay half of that every month.
Yeah, most people can't.
So
As a couple of years ago, I was looking at renting a brownstone, which was 5 stories. And it was 5 bedrooms. I would have split it with 4 friends. And that was 29,000 a month.
perfect. Gonna create a trading house there or what? Numbers.
No, most of them were kids, or they were all friends, but working in finance. But the money they never really cashed the pay stubs because how much their family was worth, making $10,000 a month or 5,000 or about 6,000 a month after taxes for their first 2 years. Their allowance was 30 or 40,000 a month, as if that extra 5,000 is going to do much for them. Because their visa was dependent upon working and they didn't want to return to China or Russia.
I mean, most of them are in that case. Like either that or you have to own a business which generates. I can't remember. Like I've looked at the visas for the US. Like either you have to own a business which employs above a certain amount of people. Predicted jobs created in the US at least. For you to be able to get a visa for entrepreneurial reasons, which is also weird.
Yeah, No, they're not
I mean-
trading friends, Velosaurus.
I mean, are there any perks to being a U.S. citizen from like name a few numbers, like from an international perspective, at least.
If your family has almost all their money in Russia or China, it becomes a lot easier to purchase real estate in the U.S.,
Okay.
especially if one of the children is a citizen or at least has a green card / visa.
Yeah. Hmm. And rich people problems sometimes are difficult to wrap your head around.
Yeah. It's a different world.
Yep, for sure.
Hold on one moment.
Yep. I can. I like everybody's blaming Putin for fucking oil and gas problems, while they themselves are starving themselves from oil and gas by literally sanctioning the shit out of it. I'm confused. That's quality content right there. Man, holy.